Hi, Steve Adubato here. For the next half hour, you're going to meet three extraordinary women who happen to be great leaders in the world of business. This is Women in Leadership, and we kick it off with our very good friend and colleague, Michele Siekerka, who is the president and CEO of the New Jersey Business and Industry Association. How are you, Michele?
Hey, doing great, Steve. Thank you.
Put this in context for us. We're meeting Micheline Davis on this and also on this program, and also Jessica Gonzalez. The BIA had a forum. What was it called?
It's our annual Women Business Leaders Forum. We host it every fall. This year we hosted it on a virtual platform, but we had extraordinary attendance, great participation, and momentum through the roof, Steve.
Yeah, and last year I was proud to be a part of it. Last time we were together physically, we had some great forums that I was able to moderate. Michele, put this in perspective. And by the way, we'll put up the BIA website as we do this. How challenging to put together a virtual forum event like this with so many women and others in leadership and women in business? How difficult and how different?
Yeah, well, it was brand new. I mean, kudos to my team. They went out and identified different platforms. We were running on 3 or 4 different platforms. So we had one platform that kind of pulled it all together, and from there we had Zooms and go to webinar, and some things were pre-recorded, some things were live. We learned a lot through it. We had fun with it. We were a little challenged along the way, but it turned out to be an extraordinary program, and that's a testament to the women who participated.
And by the way, check out our program, Lessons in Leadership. We did a really terrific Q&A that Michele and I did that was sponsored by the Business and Industry Association. We'll be showing excerpts on that on Lessons in Leadership. But we talked an awful lot, you and I, about leadership. But I want to narrow this down because this program is about women in leadership. You've had a chance to look at this for a while and experience it. To what degree do you actually believe that leading, being a great leader for a woman, is any different than any one of us, any guy who's trying to be the best leader he can be?
Well, Steve, all I can say is the only leader I can be is a female leader. So I talk from the steps of being anything else. It's all I know, and it's all I've been. But I will tell you from my observations on
But you do have a lot of men who are leaders.
Yeah. No, it's, but it's true. I mean, my observations are for women. Yeah, we have to have a little bit more, I'll say, self-awareness. We have to have a little bit more observation of what's going on at any given point in time. We have to ensure that we adjust our own style to the people who we are working and talking with at any given moment, because I would suggest that women are judged more as leaders. And by judged, I mean a skeptical lens. I mean, people are judging, can she really do this? Does she really bring the game? Does she really have it? When men walk in the room, I don't think they come with that little bit of baggage that women have. I don't think men are judged when they walk in the room like a woman is.
But there's another part of this, Michele, which ties into something you and I have talked about before. We've talked about childcare an awful lot and its connection to business, to the economy, to all these issues we're talking about. I believe I told you we're involved in an initiative called Reimagine Childcare, formerly known as Right from the Start, NJ, all about promoting quality, affordable, accessible childcare. Those issues disproportionately fall on women. I'm not saying men are not affected by it, but women in leadership positions, particularly in business, more of an issue.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. We see it playing out more than ever right now in the COVID world. You can look at any study that's out there. Women are disproportionately affected by childcare issues in COVID. The students are home, remote learning. We can line up, look, it's difficult on any parent who's trying to work from home and tend to a child, especially one who's learning during the day, right? I certainly was not vocationally brought up to be a teacher. I'm a lawyer by trade, and I'm a CEO of my organization. I wasn't trained to be a teacher. I'm fortunate I have 28-year-old twins who aren't home in a remote work environment while I'm tending to the needs of our business community. But I see in my own staff the challenges, and I see the guilt. I see the guilt? Really of mothers, yes. particularly of mothers who feel that they're letting their children down because they can't, be there to hold their hand through this whole environment because they're home trying to work at the same time. So no, any study out there right now says disproportionately COVID affects women in the workplace.
And what changes do you believe need to be made from a public policy point of view? Because you're pretty government hands-off and don't get in the way of business unless you're going to be helpful. And you've had some real clear thoughts about when it's not helpful. You've never held back. And you know government. You served in government to disclose, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
What, if anything, could and should be done from a public policy point of view to be more supportive of families, disproportionately women leading families when it comes to the issue of childcare, if these women are going to be the most successful women in the workplace?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, so there are certain roles that government does play. I mean, government provides, vital services and support, and especially safety net programs, right? For those who don't have a support system at home, something government does provide is childcare, especially for those who, again, don't have other support where they can get that. So, what do we need to do on the whole? We need to look at our childcare policies that are out there right now. In this remote world, we need to enable other childcare centers to quickly become safe havens for students to learn if they're not going to be able to learn in a classroom right now. We see a lot of nonprofits pivoting to provide those types of learning circles, if you will, and they have to get licensed as childcare facilities. No easy task. I talked to one last week. The money that it takes to go through that licensing process, and I know government's trying to work with them to get it done, but oh my gosh, to dot the I's and cross the T's from a regulatory perspective, significantly challenging.
To what degree do you believe, by the way, Steve Adubato, Michele Siekerka, this is our Women in Leadership series. You'll see the graphic up on the screen. To what degree do you actually believe there's some sort of quote unquote sisterhood? And I know this sounds like a cliche, but I mean that. You bring a lot of women together, and they always strike me as being very supportive of each other. Are they as supportive of each other, by and large, overall, than what appears to me to be the case?
So let me say, I'm a firm believer in best practices and connections and connecting people who have something in common where they can help each other. That could be women to women who are both working mothers because they can share strategies on how they make it work with each other. I think that's significantly important. But that kind of goes across the board for any type of situation where people need to lift and support each other through. We need to bring folks who are having similar situations and challenges together to help collectively to brainstorm, again, especially now more than ever. Yeah, there is somewhat of a sisterhood because of shared values, shared culture. There is nurturing.
A mentoring component as well?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Women do tend to lean toward mentoring, either mentee or mentor. And we know, Steve, that's a two-way street. Right? And the best type of mentoring is informal mentoring, where you just look and observe the traits and characteristics of those that you want to emulate and learn from that and observe, right? And then go to those people and say, hey, by the way, can we have a discussion about how you got there or how you do that? But at the same time, as a mentor, you need to be informed by the mentee because you learn so much. I've learned more from people who I've tried to share stuff with than I'm sure I've given them by way of advice.
Well said. Michele Siekerka, the president and CEO, the New Jersey Business and Industry Association, kicks off our Women in Leadership program. Stay tuned for two other really compelling interviews. Michele, thank you for being a partner and a friend and making a difference every day. Thank you.
As always, Steve, thanks so much. And thanks for the focus you give to women's leaders here in the state of New Jersey. It's really important.
It's our honor. Steve Adubato will be right back.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation. Funding has been provided by the Turrell Fund, supporting Reimagine Childcare. PNC, Grow Up Great. Valley Bank. The Russell Berry Foundation. The North Ward Center. The Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. The New Jersey Economic Development Authority. Johnson & Johnson. And by the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. Promotional support provided by AM 970 The Answer. And by NJ On Air.
The essence of the North Ward Center is ingrained in our values, thoughts, and actions. What began as a storefront on Bloomfield Avenue has evolved into a life-changing community nonprofit. The mansion is steeped in tradition, but with all of its grandeur, the true essence of the North Ward Center is in the people we serve. So as the North Ward Center commemorates 50 years of service, let's also celebrate the many opportunities yet to come.